Welcome to New Game Plus TV, live on Twitch. You might be watching us on Twitch, on C31, C44, or listening as a podcast. My name's Cringe. And this week, we have we thought last week's episode was thick. Or was it the week before? This is quite possibly the thickest episode we've ever had. We have with us Meg, Em, Jason, and Don. Coming up on the show this week, Don, you have been playing more of Number Go Up in Destiny something light. What was it called?
Beyond Light, yes.
There you go.
Yes, it is. Like, then, yeah, basically it's Numbers Go Up game 2K21. Like, and considering it's been a real heated couple of days, as in like just the weather's been super hot here in Melbourne. Yeah, to be able to play this game set in on an icy cold tundra of Europa, it's been mildly comforting, but also mindless because ultimately numbers go up. So I have my thoughts on that later in the show.
And finally, Jason, you have been playing Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity.
My Switch. Well, there's a PS5 just sitting there doing fucking nothing. Yes, I've been playing Hyrule Warriors, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah, the AOC joke. Yeah, cool. I'm glad that you did that. We don't talk about politics on the show anyway. It's a Muso
game. I mean, we can go into more detail about it. It's a Muso game.
But it's a more interesting story than Zelda Breath of the Wild.
But that's not hard because Breath of the Wild was not. Yeah, I mean, I'll have that conversation in a second, so that's fine.
Cool. Before we get into all of that, though, we've got not the news of the week. We've got Don quizzing us on the news of what I'm guessing is just the last week-ish in Quiz Time event.
Yes, for the week ended 26th of November 2020. I will quiz you all on the news events of the past week. To buzz in, just simply raise your hand, say your name, and let's just kick things off, shall we?
Ready. Pumped. Let's do this.
Here comes the cheating already. It's fine.
Just practicing your buzzing in right there.
Yeah.
Why were certain Amazon UK customers upset when they received air fryers, Nerf guns, or cat food in the mail? What were they hoping to get instead?
Oh, Megan.
Meg?
Were they pre-ordering a PS5 and got a mixed-up delivery shipment? I feel like it's on brand.
I wouldn't say mixed up. I'll give you that anyway. But they were expecting PS5s. They didn't. We should have answered correctly then, Jason. Yeah. Instead, their orders were intercepted or stolen or what have you, and ultimately their deliveries were replaced with appliances, toys, or even, cat food. Amazon has issued a statement pledging to, quote, put it right with each of the affected customers. So far, though, this has basically just meant every one of those customers has gotten a £10 Amazon voucher. IO Interactive announced that it is working on a new game based on what property, Jason?
Oh, sorry. It's James Bond. It's 007.
Correct. James Bond. Yes, indeed. Yeah, James Bond is what IO Interactive is now working on. Mind you, the last
I'm just doing it so early because I can't beat him, so yeah.
Yeah, mind you, the last Bond game that we got was 007 Legends back in 2012, which, by the way, has a Metacritic score in the 40s. Let's just hope that this one has at least a 007 out of 10. Correct response.
But wouldn't that be worse? It was a .007 out of 10. That's like 1/100th of a point. That's dumb. Shut up, Donald. You're a math boy. You should know better than that.
Worst review ever. 7 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Square Enix announced 2 titles on the one day. What were they?
That was Jason? One of them was Kingdom Hearts. Not Kingdom Hearts. Fucking The World Ends With You.
Twerwee, the stupid name.
Twerwee. The 3D one. And what was the other game that they announced? Oh my god, I had it in my head.
I'll give you a clue. It's about to hit a 25th anniversary next year.
Oh, Tomb Raider, the stupid Tomb Raider game.
Correct. Square Enix announced both Neo, The World Ends With You, and Tomb Raider Reloaded, which is actually an action arcade free-to-play mobile game.
Yeah. See, the only lesson here is lurk in our Discord and be a complete fucking loser, and then you might know some of these questions Don's going to ask you.
Like
wait till Luke links it for the 3rd time. That's how you'll know.
The key here is to always scroll up. Always scroll up. Read every post.
I promise you, if you wrote it in our Discord, I read it.
And we have gotten to the final part of this edition of Quiz Time events. We're in the current age where we're celebrating the best games of the previous generation, but what about the worst games of the previous generation? I'm going to give you 2 games from certain years of the previous generation. You need to tell me which one had the lower Open Critic score. So, So in 2013, I've got a pair of sports games for you. Which one had a lower score? NBA Live 14 or Rugby World Cup 2015?
Oh, Megan.
NBA Live for my money.
Definitely
yeah,
rugby.
it's a this or that sort of thing. So we'll
all
start
of
with you,
us.
Jack.
Rugby.
Rugby. M.
I'm also going to say rugby.
Rugby. Meg.
I'll go rugby 100%.
And Jason.
NBA.
Oh,
The contrarian. Oh, risky strategy. NBA Live 14 had a open critic score of 44. Rugby World Cup 2015 had an open critic score rather of 24.
Yes.
It must have been real bad because
Wow.
NBA Live wasn't great. So.
That is
It was not
horrendous.
great.
Ooh.
I love Aussie developers, love Aussie game devs, but sports games have just never.
There's no budget. Like, yeah, the budget that to make like even like a Pro Evo
Yeah.
would still be $50 million, and
I know there were players banging for a new AFL game. I think people would
Yeah.
pay any money for a new one that's actually good.
just go
The
back and
last-
play AFL 99 on the PS1, and that's still the best one. That's still
Or
that's
Or
the last time we had.
AFL on the original E NES.
That's number 2, and then number 1 is AFL 99. It's really good.
Anyways, let's move on to 2015, where 90s rehashes were the flavor. What had a lower score? Carmageddon Reincarnation or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5? We'll start with M.
Purely for the name, I'm going to go Carmageddon.
Meg?
You can't just drop a Tony Hawk's bomb and compare it. So I'm really going to choose Carmageddon as if.
Jason?
Tony Hawk 5 was real bad, Megan. I think you're underestimating how bad it was. I'm
It
going
was
with
really
Tony
bad.
Hawk.
Jack?
Look, 5 was terrible, but Carmageddon it just sounds too bad. So Carmageddon.
It does, doesn't
Well, it was so bad that I got a 45 on OpenCritic. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 got a 32.
Yeah.
Whoa!
It was real bad.
Ooh.
And it's funny because you children, did you play the old Carmageddon like from your grandpa's days or no?
No.
It was such a good game. It was like you had to run people over, and there was nuclear waste, and it
Doing a
was great.
live Google.
doing a live Google. Just pause the Zoom call, splat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's.
that cover art.
There's a movie called Carmageddon.
Oh, was that made by
Is
Uwe
it
Boll?
Uwe Boll? Yeah, so I think it's an
New
Uwe
Game
Boll.
Plus movie night.
Oh,
hard.
God.
Hard
Anything but
pass.
that.
Okay, so what's a Carmageddon movie? What else? We need a second Uwe Boll movie, so Alone in the Dark. And for the hell of it, Pixels.
No, because you don't want Gerard there.
Gerard was going to get really excited about it, and I really don't want that to happen. So
I'm hoping.
no.
Well, I'm hoping by the time that by the time that what's it called Pixels comes around, it will be what's called Pumpkin O'Clock for him.
He's
Does
getting old
Gerard
now.
Pumpkin?
Yeah.
He's getting old now. He used to be like the only person who'd be up at 4 a.m. on Discord was me, Cloney, and I could message Dermy if I needed something done for the website. But no, he's getting too old for it now.
Oh.
At the end of all of that, Jack, you have ended up on 3 points. M, you've ended up on 2 points.
Ooh.
Meg, you have got 4 points. Jason, the conspiracy is on, or is it? Because you've got 6 points.
Hey.
And have
Why
taken
not?
out this
Won
additional
one.
quiz time events.
He
Yeah,
did.
because okay, so again, understand that the only reason I won was because the other cretin who's as bad as me, Galia, isn't here. Like, so don't be like, oh damn, I didn't win. It's like, no, you're a real fucking functioning human being, unlike us. So
You're a person
yeah.
with a life.
Even in
Real
victory,
person.
you are nice and salty.
And for what it's
I
worth,
want to set up
Jamie,
Galia in chat, so it
Jamie's
works.
in
That's all I
chat.
wanted to do.
You're like, Jamie's
That's all
not
I
here.
wanted to do.
Jamie's here.
We love you, Jamie.
Thank you for that quiz time event, Don. You're hanging out with us here on New Game Plus. Stick around. We got more video game goodness coming up in a little bit. Hanging out with us here on New Game Plus TV, live on Twitch. You might be with us on C31, C44, or listening as a podcast. I'm Cringe here with Meg, Don, Em, and Jason. And we do like to see number go up. We went up one number from PS4 to PS5 recently. We're not talking about Xbox. Xbox 2 doesn't exist. It's not real. Stop. The naming, like, what is the next Xbox going to be? But we've asked that for the last 3 generations if they figured it out. The point is, Don loves to make the number go up in Destiny because that's it. But all I know about Destiny 2 is that there are light levels. Are you beyond light, Don?
Oh, like I said, like the pun thing is spreading. It's now hit to you, Jack. Now we just need M to make one, and we've completed the circle.
The expression on like M and Meg's face being like, "Shit, Jack, you've really fallen from grace." Like it is poor form.
You've been hanging around us for far too long.
Yeah, it's true.
Why aren't you playing Destiny like us then, Jack? Huh?
Destiny 2 Beyond Light. Tell me about it.
Yes, Beyond Light. Destiny 2 is now in its 4th year, and in that time, the game got way unwieldy and way lumpy. Ironically, the Beyond Light expansion is notable in that it actually takes out a lot of content from the core Destiny 2 experience, which might sound bad, and indeed, like there are a lot of things which are missing between what pre-Beyond Light Destiny and current post Beyond Light Destiny. So there have been a bunch of locations and activities which have been vaulted in the Disney tradition, meaning that they've been put away. They're no longer part of the game or the executable. So 4 planets and their associated strikes and raids are all gone. This is done to focus the experience on the locations where players actually play. What this means is that this game is kind of at its shallowest point in terms of the loot pool and the content, and it kind of shows.
Does Destiny 2 still have the legs to hold up in 3 years' time?
Like I would argue yes, because of the content that is still left in the game. Like, as in, like, for one, like we're still talking about Destiny here, so the core gameplay loop, even the moment-to-moment gunplay is still the best in the industry. So at the very least, you've got that. You've got the deep, dense Destiny lore, which is full of Bungie-style proper nouns. I've not actually talked about what Beyond Light actually adds, have I?
It takes out all this stuff. Okay, so what am I paying for?
You get the Cosmodrome from Destiny 1, which is an environment for the new player experience. Not much else. You also get Europa, which is one of the which is an icy moon, which what is like basically it's a whole new map with its own set of activities and the campaign and whatnot. And I have to say up front, like it is one of the finest environments that Bungie has designed today. Like Destiny already has some fantastic art direction and art style, and it is incredibly easy to make snow environments look majestic. And yes, I am a very simple and easily amused person, but the art direction just goes over and beyond here to make Europa strikingly desolate.
Bungo's always done good skybox, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and like even now they've got good snow as well. Indeed, the game also has Europa also has dynamic weather effects as well, which can throw a snowstorm on you at any moment. As for the campaign itself, it's fine. Like I'm not going to bore any of you with the proper nouns that Destiny likes to throw at you. I'm not going to try
dozens.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw at you talk to you about the Elixir or the Exo Stranger or Clovis Bray or anything like that.
As Jason very audibly yawns in the corner.
I'm like, cool. When does Master Chief show up? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I've always respected like Bungo's ability to make a fun game. Like, you know, Halo was a different style of shooter to COD, and that was what worked for it, and that was why 5 failed so significantly because they tried to make it Call of Duty. But like. Bungo's core gameplay is there, but I don't know who's been writing the narrative for this. Like, it's not Blizzard bad where they have to keep retconning themselves because they keep writing themselves into corners. But I'm just like, I have no idea who any of the fuck these people are. Like, what's my attachment to it?
Beyond Light isn't going to help you out, but Destiny stories, these big yearly expansions, they're kind of at their best when they manage to tell a coherent standalone story whilst alluding to the bigger picture without throwing too many proper nouns. For the Forsaken campaign in 2018 probably did the best job. Someone killed Cade. You need to get revenge on them. Great. 29th, the Shadowkeep expansion from last year definitely leaned too hard in the grander story side of things. So it's just throwing around concepts of the darkness and the period of an error's morn and the moon is haunted. I don't care. This one, you at least have a clear antagonist, like what's called alien lady. Like just to sort of just boil it down, alien ladies trying to harness the darkness to destroy Earth and the Traveler. You need to stop her. You have at least a clear antagonist. You have a clear path to take it down, even if the stakes aren't presented as greatly as
Shadowlands sounds great, yeah.
I will still not be getting into Destiny 2. Jason may still be a little bit frustrated to continue playing because, as it turns out, Plenty's just said in chat, the auto aim has not been. You cannot disable auto aim yet on console, so you're just going to have to deal with that for a bit longer, mate. For everyone else, Destiny 2 Beyond Light is out now on PS4, Xbox One, PC, Stadia. And the wiki page is saying Xbox Series and PS5. Are there any changes to the game beyond like graphical settings?
4K resolution support, and what's called faster loading, optimization for the big console. Basically, everything you expect. I kind of want to just put a bow on all of this. Just to say that Beyond Light ultimately represents a reset button for the state of Destiny. So we'll see whether the vaulting of content, whether the sunsetting of weapons and armor, whether that'll have a beneficial impact on the game's long-term health. But here and now, Beyond Light, the campaign is satisfactory if short, and it will be made up for over the coming year by the drip feed of content. And if you want to get into this game as a new player, I would say that with the updated new player experience, like, it is almost the best time to get into Destiny. And I'm not just saying this just because I want more people on New Game Plus to play, Jason.
I'll get to it after Monster Hunter. And I still want to play Ghost of Tsushima for Game of the Year.
No, we're not going through the list. You're with us here on New Game Plus TV. Stick around. We've got more video game goodness coming up real soon. Today, you're vibing with us here on New Game Plus TV live on Twitch. And Em's like, oh my God, look at my knitting. You might be with us on C31, C44, or listening as a podcast, in which case, check us out on any of the other places, because then you can see Em's beautiful... you're making a rug, you said.
I'm crocheting a rug. Can you see it?
I think it's going to match with everything.
What is this, a rug for ants?
Yeah. Look, if we can special
for the bug snacks.
Yeah. Looks like a sombrero for the bug snacks. So yeah.
I like it. I'm proud.
I'm cringe with
anyway, video games.
Megdon, and Jason. And Jason, you've been playing Hyrule Warriors, AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, we like to call it.
That's the last time we do that one, I think.
For the best. So Hyrule Warriors...
What does AOC actually stand for?
Age of Calamity.
Hyrule
Warriors released...
I mean, that sounds like a Ben Shapiro name for a podcast. It's like AOC, Age of Calamity.
Stop talking.
That was a little bit more Alex Jones. The goddamn frogs again.
We need one more, and he'll pop up on this stream. Let's not Beetlejuice him onto us.
Yeah, I know, right?
No.
So the original Hyrule Warriors came out. It was on Wii U, I'm pretty sure. And then
originally
it was then to 3DS, or maybe it was new 3DS, and then to Switch with the
that is the order that it went. And the one on Switch was the definitive edition.
Yes,
it had all the DLC attached to it.
And so. When you call something definitive edition, the assumption is this is the complete package. Age of Calamity enters as not as like the Hyrule Warriors had its own sort of story thing, but it wasn't canon. And it's not canon in the same way that AOC is canon, where it is a direct prequel.
The Hyrule Warriors was like Warriors All Stars, so it was like all the Muso games, like Warriors All Stars games. Yeah, like the city. It was like here's characters from Dynasty Warriors. Here's characters from.
It's
Samurai Warriors. Here's characters from DOA. Like, so it was like Hyrule Warriors, the first one was more like that. It was like, here's this thing that exists outside of reality. It doesn't have any real place in thing. Hope you like playing as Linkle and enjoy making all the Rule 34 of Linkle because you're not fucking creeps.
Please don't, but just...
Oh, God.
Anyway.
Delete your search history.
And I would say the biggest thing that to mention out of the gate is that it's put to you as the prequel to Breath of the Wild, and the answer is it's not, right? It's an alternate timeline, like, of course. And they do that right at the start, and of course they were going to do it because no one Nintendo's going to let them fuck with canon, right? They didn't even let Platinum make a Star Fox game properly, so they're not going to let Koei Tecmo fuck with canon. So your little guardian egg thing, little cute guardian egg, and you go back in time and you warn Link and you warn Zelda and you go get them all to pilot the things, and it's all about setting up a different timeline. And it's like, it's fine because I don't care. I just want to play a decent Muso game. But if you're going into it with that expectation, that's where it kind of grays the lines a little bit. So, with Muso games, you know what you're getting. You're going to walk into a group of 100 dudes, you're going to pull off some sick anime move, everyone's going to drop dead, and you're going to go, shit, I just killed 100 people, man. Like, pew! Like, And that's how a Musou game works. And you're going to do that for 40 hours, right? And it's just the nature of a Musou game. This one obviously has all of the standard, all the characters, Link and Impa, and you get all the Guardians, and you get all the random characters and stuff like that. So in that sense, it plays very similar to every other Musou game you've ever played. One of the introductions that they have is everybody has the 4 tablet powers, the slate powers, so Cryosis, Magnesis,
Magnet's
bomb, because I had to rule it, and then Stasis, so holding them in place.
Yeah.
And they all manifest in a different way, which is goes back to the way that Musou's play is. Like they might have the same weapon, but they use it a different way, or they might have this and they use it a different way. And you can equip different weapons for different characters, and it'll change the not only the combos that they do, which are nearly always YYYX, YX, YYX. It's always that same standard Musou combo, and they all have different strengths and weaknesses. Some are better for taking out one big enemy, some are better for taking out hordes of enemies. That's legitimately how the game's played. But it's just a Musou game in Hyrule Breath of the Wild. And the nice thing with it is like there's a lot of cutscenes, there's a lot of interesting interactions between Zelda and Link, and you get to see Rivali be basically, Proto Falco. All of these things are things that I think are sorely lacking from Breath of the Wild. I still maintain that Breath of the Wild as an expression of emergent gameplay where real world physics affect everything in real time, and everything happens get to the other side of the shrine. Doesn't matter how you do it. So if you manage to blow yourself up and knock yourself into the shrine, well, then you passed it. It doesn't matter.
With half a heart, it's okay.
Yeah, with half a heart, doesn't matter. And that I've always enjoyed that about particular games. And as an example of that, Breath of the Wild succeeds as a Zelda game, as an epic adventure. It just doesn't. Like the best bits of the sad girl Zelda cutscenes, and then they ruin those, and she just becomes a fetch quest at the end. So for me, Breath of the Wild is like the worst Zelda game from the perspective of being a Zelda game. Not that any of them are particularly groundbreaking on that one, but this, at least you get to see a lot more interactions between the characters. Like you get to see, Impa when she's young talking to a young Zelda, trying to make sense of it all. You get to see the king be, his same kind of really punishingly straightforward self with Zelda. So there's lots of these interactions that you get to see more of. So in that way, it kind of fleshes it out. The problem is it goes back to not being canon. None of it technically counts. Which is a shame. Does that detract from
the fact that it's good? Like, if it is good character, writing and good story, does the fact that it doesn't technically count make it a negative experience?
The fact that you have to ask that question means that you're not a Zelda fan. Because if you're a Zelda fan, you are going to flip your shit over the fact that it's not the real thing. And I understand that that's a very broad brush to go for. But come on, realistically, I think Hyrule Warriors I enjoyed it as a standalone Musou game. I think it's a great game. The Zelda fans are going to be upset, but they're, the Zelda fans are like, you just let them do their thing. I as much as I love Koei Tecmo and I want them to release more games that I want to play, they're just making too much money doing this license jam. So luckily, at least Hyrule Warriors, for the most part, is a very fun Musou game. Just don't know how you're going to feel about it if you're a Zelda fan.
Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity is out now on Switch. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. That brings us to the end of this week's show. Very long show. If you're watching on C31 or C44, go and check us out on twitch.tv/NewGamePlusTV, because you got a 25-minute episode. This show was 2.5 hours. So go and check out our Twitch shows, our podcasts, all of that. You can find at newgameplus.tv on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are at New Game Plus TV, and YouTube is where you can catch up on TV episodes if you've missed those as well. Meg, Don, M, Jason, thank you so much for joining me on this truly roller coaster of a week. My God. Everyone at home, thanks for vibing, and we'll catch you next time.